What a day at the shoe. Of course, Ohio State, number 3 in the country, defending champions. Oh, that's pretty cool, too, what they were able to do.
This was ESPN's college game day of I was not expecting something like this. I thought they'd be off to the side, but no. They put the stage right at midfield. The band said Corso. They had signs in the student section that said, thanks, Corso. And he went with his love, his first love. Could
you imagine if he would have thrown on the Texas? There was no way that was going to happen.
No. That's why they had it set up in the middle, too, because if he knew he was going to go with Brutus.
What a day for his picks. Perfect.
Undefeated. Well, not his picks on game day, and then each team that he coached or played for also won. Florida State upset Alabama. He was there.
Check.
Navy, Indiana.
Check.
All of his
Northern
teams.
Illinois, I believe, was another one.
Yeah, there was about 6. But if you would have made a bet for all of his teams that he's coached and then his picks, he probably could have won.
You wouldn't have to make another bet.
A few $1,000 at least. If you
Yin's bets should have had that knowledge, man. Yeah, we should have known it was going to be a special day. But for Ohio State fans, it really was special. That's why, again, no live streams here. I mean, I covered a girls' soccer match, but only because my kid plays. So let's talk about the game and how Ohio State was able to win 14-7. It was a bit of a vanilla game plan offensively for Ohio State, but I thought that it was the right move, Jonathan, given how well the defense came out of the gates playing. First career start, to know that he was the full-time starter for Arch Manning. I know it was his third, but first time on the road, and it just really felt like Ohio State, they played to win the game and nothing else, nothing flashy.
And I got to give credit to Coach Ryan Day because I love his game plan, or I guess his kind of mentality coming in. Talking about his freshman quarterback, Julian Sayin, pretty much all he said was, you don't have to play spectacular. You just have to go 1-0. And that was the message coming in, and Sayin took that to the heart, and I still think he played a really, really good game. But definitely a little bit vanilla on the offense, just like you said. But, I mean, that was how they started, and then they saw the defense kind of just kick in, and how could they go really anywhere else trying to put any more pressure than they needed to on that freshman? But great job. Just, I think all 3 sides of the ball dominated pretty much 3.5 of the 4 quarters. I think Texas started to come back there towards the end, but ultimately they got the job done. But got to give credit to Texas, too, staying in it a little bit. I think we just kind of discovered these 2 teams are still really good.
Yeah, and I mean, you said it right. Sayin, 13 of 20, 126 yards and a touchdown, but the big stat, 0 interceptions.
Right.
He did exactly what he needed to do. And actually, it probably should be about 14 or 15 out of 20, but your boy Jeremiah Smith had a case
2
of
drops in a row.
There were
start.
4 drops, I believe. So it should have been
17 of 20.
His first 3 throws, I think, were drops.
Yeah.
So if it could have tumbled out of control, it would have been right away, but he was cool. He stayed collected and very accurate passer. That's what stood out to me watching him. Almost every single throw, none tipped at the line of scrimmage. Everything at least got in the vicinity of the receiver's hands, and that's what we were told, that he was that type of cat. He's going to put the ball where it needs to be, and just that $1 million smile. To have that look as an Ohio State quarterback, I mean, that's an award-winning formula, but especially if you're going to beat the number 1 team in the country on opening day, Jonathan, it felt pretty good to be a Buckeye fan on Saturday.
It did, absolutely, but it did not feel great to be a Manning because, yet again, one of the Mannings lose their debut college football games, and Arch did not look good, simply put. But
not impressed.
I will say, I was listening to the Joel Klatt show, great show, by the way, on Fox, but he was saying we should have expected this because what first-year starting quarterback goes into a top 5 opponent's house and wins? Nobody. It's nearly impossible.
No.
Yes.
So I guess coming in, the expectations, if you take the Manning name off the back, I think that was kind of what did things. And I think that's the difference, too, with the quarterbacks because Sayin, compared to Manning, had 0 pressure coming into this game. It was just kind of unfortunate for Arch that so much was put on his shoulders so early. And I don't think that's Texas's fault. It's just the media like to put everything on some youngins like Arch Manning.
Can we talk about this play right here, though? The catch Carnell Tate had to get them their 14th point. That was a phenomenal catch. We've had some great catches over this first weekend of where 4 of the top 10 teams lost. Just because we had matchups of top 10 teams.
Right.
And then Florida State pulling off the major upset, too. But that was one of the highlight catches of the weekend, and it was an important one, too, because it gave Ohio State just that little bit of cushion for even if Manning did start waking up late. He did throw that touchdown pass, but it was already 14-0. So that play is, remember this, down the line when you get towards the end of the season, and Ohio State's probably still ranked up there, maybe getting a bye, maybe getting a top seed. That catch, very big in the ending of that game.
And that was pretty much the only big shot they took down the field, and they cashed in on it. So you got to love that. But the one thing I want to note, too, is because they were kind of vanilla in their play calling this week, but, of course, that's going to change because they don't really play anybody of note until Week 7 when they play Illinois.
Don't say that to Ohio Bobcat fans.
Yeah.
Might get disappointed.